Game one in the books in Atlanta. And for the second straight series, the Hawks, the #1 seed in the East, give away the home court edge in the opener. They came back and beat Washington in the conference semifinals. We'll see if they can come back against the Cleveland Cavaliers here in the Eastern Conference Finals as LeBron and J.R. Smith and company take game one, 97-89. Welcome, everybody, inside the NBA, presented by Kia. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Game two in this series comes your way on Friday night, right here at the Highlight Factory, Phillips Arena. Cavs and Hawks with Cleveland out to the 1-0 lead after tonight's game one as we go to the highlights. And you see the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals for the very first time, 47 seasons here in Atlanta.
Great energy in the building, Ernie.
And a great start. They hit 10 of their first 13 shots, and Al Horford getting the bunny there.
Well, when they move the basketball, Ernie, and they move their bodies, they're very tough to beat. But when they play stationary and play pick and roll with just Teague out front, I think they're easy to guard as they work down the stretch.
That Korver belonged to wound up to be a three-point play, and there is Tristan Thompson. It's a 6-point game after one, Atlanta with the lead. Now Paul Millsap, Shaq.
Paul Millsap playing very aggressive. That's a nice move down there. He tried to do his best to keep him in it, but the Kings just too much for him, Ernie.
And so is J.R. Smith. How about his night, Kenny?
Yeah, J.R. Smith, became unconscious, shot the ball. He's a bad shot maker. That's a tough shot. Most people are bad shot, but he makes bad shots.
Looking like Curry out there, huh?
The defense doesn't matter. But, the Hawks, did a decent job, but I thought it was too much of this down the stretch. Yes. Even though he makes this shot, he couldn't make those shots down the stretch or make those plays.
27-point night for Jeff Teague, and then later in the first half, swing it, and then DeMarre Carroll, nice dish inside to Horford, 39-35.
I thought the tempo of the game was way too slow for the Hawks. They need to play at a much faster pace.
Up top again to Horford, 41-37. Another look on the feed from Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, those pick and rolls in transition are much better than those pick and rolls in the half court.
Meantime, here goes LeBron.
Oh, this is just, I'm better than you. You can't guard me. Remember I talked about it at the beginning of the game. I said, it's going to be, can you guard us or can't guard me? When you got Cleveland, can you guard me? And I don't think they can, and they have not been able to guard LeBron James in any magnitude.
Just for the record, nobody can guard LeBron.
Well, they could slow him down. He hasn't won it every year.
Time running out in the first half, and Bazemore cans it, and then casually heads to the locker room. Game tied at 51 at the half, in the third.
The Hawks just went cold, Ernie.
But you look at this, these are like standstill. This was kind of that helped end the drought a little bit, but these standstill jump shots or pick and roll, J.R. Smith was like, can you guard me? That's not a can you guard us.
Well, listen,
that's a can you guard me.
J.R. Smith is a streak shooter, and once the house started on fire, Kenny, what you got to do?
Oh, you got to get the women and children out.
That's it. He was just going to burn down the house. He was on fire. Yeah.
So it went from 63 apiece to 71-63, and then the Hawks come back, and that's Bazemore.
Get some of that. Smile for the camera.
Goes aggressive to the hole, throws it down like I used to do on Chuck.
74-67 the count after three. In the fourth, more J.R. Smith.
Can you guard
Curry
me?
Out there, huh, Kenny?
Yeah, can you guard me? This has nothing to do with us. This is about me. You can't guard me, and then I'm going to score. Until the Hawks figure out how to guard guys individually. Can you guard me? He's saying, Kyle Korver, you can't stay in front of me. I'm going to shoot it. I have confidence. LeBron James on the bench.
Yeah, but can he play like that for 4 games? What you think, Chuck?
He don't have to play because he doesn't have to play like that.
Actually, he does, because remember, Kyrie's hurt. So, Kyrie's not really Kyrie, so, you're going to need this guy
But I told you before the game, one of the reasons I picked the Cavaliers, this is their one game, one of the others won for them tonight.
Right. Here's J.R. again. He had 8 threes on the night. 87-74, and here comes LeBron
again
fading away. 15-point lead, and then the DeMarre Carroll situation came up.
Unfortunate right here. It gives out. His leg just gives out. Looks very bad on film. Hopefully it just looks bad.
Yeah, you heard David Aldridge give his report, and they were maybe optimistic that it wasn't as bad as it appeared
Hopefully
to be.
it's just hyperextended.
Yeah.
We're going to have an MRI on Thursday. But he was the leading scorer for the Hawks through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Did not have a good scoring night tonight, and it ends painfully for him in the fourth quarter. The Hawks put a little run together, though.
Ernie,
got it to single digits, and this they had to review for about 25 minutes, and they decided
the reason the Hawks got back in the game, for some reason, the Cavaliers started just holding the ball for letting LeBron go one-on-one, and he didn't score. That's when the Hawks made their run.
So now 91-87, and here LeBron gets a little daylight, and then that happened.
That cannot happen, Ernie.
Yeah, that can't happen.
You can't dribble from half court and nobody steps in front of it.
Oh, yeah, you can. It happened right here.
Wait, what happened? Who stepped in front of it?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You said that
But you
can't
know
happen.
what, Chuck?
I said it just did.
But you know what? Reggie Miller makes a good point. Good point. Paul Millsap should not be playing LeBron at the half court. Step back, let him drive to you, then play defense from there.
But shouldn't the other 4 guys have a foot in the paint?
Yes.
My goodness. Shouldn't you have a foot in the paint? That's LeBron James.
I agree, but
Got to pick your poison, though, Kenny.
I'd rather have him.
but you can't let
pass
the guy
it.
check. You can't. First of all, Reggie's right. I don't understand why Millsap is trying to guard him.
Right.
But you can't let a guy dribble from half court and get a dunk. That
A
should never
monster
happen.
dunk with that.
Sharpshooting Smith. We have one of those on the set as well. But this one played
Appreciate
in the game
it,
tonight.
We're not living in the past. We're living in the present.
Just some props from my
28.
colleague here.
We're not
20
living in the hateration either.
28. How would you describe what you saw from him tonight?
Well, you know, again, the ability to make tough shots, J.R. Smith has always had. The question has been, when he's not making tough shots, will he take good shots to get back on? So he didn't have to get back on because he was on and he was stepping back. He was in motion. He was in the rhythm. But the problem with that is, can he take good shots when he's not making the tough shots? That's been his problem over his career. Not the fact that he could get hot and do what he did tonight.
I want to make a point. I played with a lot of great shooters that used to get into the arena before the game. When we came in here, he was out shooting with Damon Jones. He had a rhythm in, so I kind of knew that if his first couple shots went down, that he was going to have a good night. But he hit some crazy shots. But the question is, can he do that for 4 games?
But that's the one thing always about JR. Once he makes bad shots, and once he gets in the zone, we've seen this a lot. But the only problem is about taking bad shots when you're not on. They just bad shots.
It's bad
But
shots.
he was fantastic tonight.
And Ernie, what I thought overall when I watched it, I just thought the moment was a little bit too big for Atlanta. It just felt like they got into uncharted water.
No.
They didn't feel. No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I thought that their ball movement and body movement stopped, and then they went into this pick and roll half court Atlanta basketball that really didn't get them here.
Well, see, and I disagree with that because they got off to a terrific start. And the game, it was a tie game at halftime, and then they got stagnant. And talking
that's the moment. The moment is in the second half.
The moment would have been happened when it started. Because the coach talked about before the game, he said, we want to play fast the entire game. We want to push it at every opportunity. I went to the coaches meeting today, and that's what he said. And we talked at halftime. That game was way too slow because the Hawks do not want to play half-court basketball.
No, and you have to do the things that got you here in the first place too. And they're the second best three-point shooting team in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. They go 4 for 23 from deep tonight. And now, if you're Atlanta and you lose the opener and the uncertainty of DeMarre Carroll, who's your primary defender on LeBron James, I mean, this is something to regroup from.
It really is.
Because 48 hours from now, you got to play game 2.
It is, hopefully DeMarre Carroll is okay. Just let me start off by saying that. But we know when Jeff Teague is aggressive. We know when Kyle Korver is hitting shots. We know when there's energy in the building. We know when they play aggressive and get interior paint shots, they can stay in the game. But if they shoot 4 from 23 and then let LeBron drive down the lane and get a monster dunk, it's going to be a long night. But again, I still need more for Kyle Korver. I understand he can't get his own shots, but today when he did get open, he hit 3 nice shots. He needs to do that a couple more times.
Yeah, I'm from the school of thought, Ernie. There's always a reason why you don't shoot well, and there's always a reason why you don't play well. It's not just you didn't do it. I feel that there is a tempo that was created in the first half until the game got in question. When the game is in question in the second half, that tempo made them nervous. No one wanted to make that mistake. The tempo slowed down. Jeff Teague had to play one-on-one too much to me. in other games, in other series, they kept that momentum going. Even in the Washington series games that they lost at the buzzer and things of that nature, they played well throughout those moments. I didn't see that today.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I think the one thing they got going for them right now, the game will be at home. I think losing Carroll and getting beat really soundly tonight, if they had to go to Cleveland for the next game, I think they'd be mentally depressed. They're going to have to get a great effort from the home crowd Friday night to get them pumped back up, because there is a mental scar tonight. Losing your best defender and also losing the first game at home, giving away home court. So the best thing they got going for them is to play at home next game.
Game was tied at 63 with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Then comes an 8-0 run by Cleveland, keyed by J.R. Smith. They would not trail the rest of the way, and they take game one. Back with more on Inside, presented by Kia. In just a second, you'll hear from the King as he speaks with Rachel Nichols. I'll be honest, I don't make a habit of listening to podcasts and stuff, but I'll make an exception here because on Sekou Smith's Hang Time podcast, Charles Barkley will be the special guest only on NBA.com.
That's nice, Charles.
I had a lot of fun doing that, actually.
Yeah, Sekou's, he carried you.
Sekou, Lane Whitaker, and Pretty Ricky Fox.
You just
You
love
gonna be
being
on my
around
podcast,
Smiths.
Chuck?
Man, huh?
You gonna be on my podcast?
No, dude.
All right, I don't want you anyway.
Let's move on.
Boy.
I hate to be abrupt, but let's be abrupt. Anyway, almost lost in the hot shooting of J.R. Smith in the opener, and his 28 points was the fact that LeBron had 31 points in this one. And before the series started, he sat down with Rachel Nichols to talk about Kyrie Irving and David Blatt and talk about leadership and maybe one day being a movie star.
Welcome back to the Eastern Conference Finals. 5th time in a row, but 7th time overall.
Yeah, absolutely. To be a part of the Eastern Conference Finals 7 times, I've been with some great teams, and we put ourselves in position to just try to compete.
The Atlanta Hawks are sometimes called Spurs East because not only their coach, of course, came from San Antonio, but just the way they play. Do you have some experience with the Spurs that you can apply here going into this?
I think so. I think the Spurs and the Hawks, they play the game the right way. This basketball at its best. It's free-flowing, but at the same time, it's very constructive. We're the #1 defense in the postseason so far, so I think we will hang our hats on that. We have to.
Kyrie now says he is feeling better. He's also been talking the past few days about his relationship with you, how it's grown.
When you don't know someone, it's hard for you to trust them, and that's what it was in the beginning of the season. I've walked this path before. I've seen the same thing he's seen, so that gave me some leeway to be able to kind of bring the wall down a lot faster maybe than it could have happened if I haven't been in the role that he's been in before.
You came into the NBA right out of high school.
Yeah.
So you were definitely the kid for a long time. Then you go to Miami, you're sort of in that middle ground.
Right.
Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, they're more your peers,
Right.
that kind of thing age-wise. You come here, Kyrie Irving is 23.
Right.
Tristan Thompson is 24.
Right.
You are firmly in the
Right.
older brother role.
Yeah, I am.
How has that changed your leadership?
It changes a lot. I knew coming here that I would have to be the sole leader. One thing that I knew I had to work on, and I'm always working on every day, is my patience.
You told me that
All
a
the
few
time.
weeks ago. I said, what has been the story for you this season? And you said, patience.
Yeah, my patience.
And you're not known as a patient
No,
guy, I
I'm
gotta tell
not.
you over the
I'm
years.
not. But these guys hasn't had much experience. I almost had to go back to having my first child.
Is this easier for you because you are a dad?
I think so. Because obviously, being a parent, it tests your patience for sure.
You've taken an expanded role in how the whole team operates. And you've compared that in the past to Peyton Manning and the way that he has done that for his NFL teams. How do you see the comparison?
The comparison is not because he's the quarterback, it's because the hours that he puts into his craft. And that's how I am. I put so much work into me trying to be the best every single day that the guys see it, the coaching staff see it, and they trust that I'm going to at least try to put our team in the best position to win. That's all I can ask for.
We see Peyton Manning all the time, going to the line, calling the audible sometimes because he sees the defense set up a little differently. You see the defenses, famous example, right, in the Chicago series of you saying, scratch that, I want this because I see this out here.
Yeah.
How come when Peyton Manning calls an audible, everyone says, man, he's so smart.
Right.
And when you do it, it's, he's undermining his coach.
I don't know.
For people who've been around you, this is not the first time you've done this.
It's not the first time, and hopefully it's not the last time. The trust that you have with your coaches is very key, and they trust me, and I trust them as well. It's not my coach draws up a play, and I say, no, we're not doing that. It goes a lot more with what I'll be able to see over the course of the game. You know, the feel that I've had on the floor and to see how the defense have played it over and over and over. I know how to be able to react to that and be able to throw something at them where they won't recognize what hit them.
You're at this point in the playoffs, and it means a lot to you just because I know how much you care about basketball. But you also have your family here in Cleveland for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
How has that made this different?
Just a sense of security and comfort. For me, when my home is happy and taken care of, then it makes my job a lot easier.
And you're in the community here. We were setting up this interview, and you were shopping in Bed Bath & Beyond with your wife. I don't think people would believe that you actually go out and do that yourself. You don't have someone do that for you. You're out there, picking out
pillows.
sheets,
I was out picking out pillows and getting some new glasses.
And you feel comfortable doing that here?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. These people here have seen me grow from the knucklehead kid all the way to the well-rounded, father and husband. Without the city itself, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I gotta ask you about a couple of the other random things in your life. You are freezing yourself on a regular basis.
Yeah.
People who have not seen this, you walk into a tank that is 230 degrees below Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And freezes your skin.
Don't try this at home, people.
Right.
People, please don't.
Why are you doing this?
I take my body very seriously. We found out about this particular treatment. It doesn't give you 100% life back, but it just helps the body recover.
After the finals are over, after the playoffs are over, you have a movie coming out. Most people want to be a movie star because they want to be rich and famous. You are already rich and famous. Why do you want to get into all this?
I always talked about it as a kid, and even as an adult, I was like, wow, I always wanted to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then when I got older, the bad boy movies, I was like, I would love to do an action movie. Either be like a cop or something, or be like Batman. Hopefully I can do some more things, maybe. We'll see.
All right, so goal number 1, win an NBA championship for Cleveland.
Absolutely.
Down the road, goal number 2, be Batman and save the world.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Small goals.
Small goals.
Check did you want to be the Fresh Prince?
No, but I got a movie for you, LeBron, Kazam Part 2.
Oh, yeah. That'll just get you one of those Razzies. Kazam, too.
You are watching Inside the NBA, presented by Kia. The Cleveland Cavaliers winners over the Atlanta Hawks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Final score of Game 1 was 97-89. When we come back, we'll focus on the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 was played last night, and the number 1 seed out west, able to do what the number 1 seed in the East could not.
Bang, bang.
Hold serve. Here's something you'll like, Kenny.
Okay. Oh,
Houston and
West
Phoenix.
in person.
20 years ago.
I should have got that weekend.
Remember the kiss of
Come on,
death?
Robert.
Kiss of death.
Okay. Give it to him, Kenny. Big shot maker, just like I said, Kenny.
Splash.
Get yourself over. Mario. Kiss yourself, Mario.
Death.
Kiss yourself, Mario.
Kiss the girls and make them cry.
See, I told you you'd enjoy it.
I love 115, 114. I love it.
Oh, Deion Sanders says Charles is killing us with his suit game tonight. In fact, we're doing this to honor Craig Sager.
But Deion, you're right.
Hashtag
Chuck's suit
Sager
game is
strong.
killing it. Thank you, Deion Sanders.
That's because Deion like all that loud stuff.
So obviously you need to dress like Craig Sager.
Exactly.
Hey, that's Deion Sanders.
But you need to dress like Craig Sager. He's never said it before until tonight.
Well, listen, as long as he's watching the show, thank you, Prime Time.
I'm not saying the prime time.
Stop being a hater. We're celebrating my man, Craig Sager.
Name dropper.
Yeah.
Wait, just because I know famous people, it ain't my fault you don't know about
you don't know
it. You don't
him.
know him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Hey, Western Conference Finals started last night, and Golden State able to hold serve. There are questions like, how is Dwight Howard feeling? And going into Game 2, we get this report from Lewis Johnson.
In Game 1, Dwight Howard had a collision with Josh Smith and was ultimately diagnosed with a sprained left knee. Now, after the game in the locker room, I saw him receiving an ultrasound treatment on the inside of that left knee. Howard did not participate in practice on Wednesday and is still listed as questionable for Game 2.
I'm not going to speculate. I mean, we'll see where Dwight's at tomorrow, and then we'll make our adjustments accordingly.
If he can't go, we can't really, worry about that. We have to just continue to play, continue to fight, and do it as a team.
We're going to guard whoever's out there. We'll react accordingly. but it doesn't really change our preparation or who we're going to play. I still want Andrew Bogut on the floor, even if Dwight's not out there.
Clint's not going to turn into Dwight Howard overnight. At least he might, but I don't know. You have to hit the weight room. Like I said, those are really impossible questions to answer for me because different players bring different things. Like we're a different team every time you make a substitution.
What are some of the most important tweaks and adjustments you make for Game 2?
Well, the defensive effort has to be there the entire game. We didn't really start playing until midway through the second quarter, so the intensity level has to ratchet up. I just thought that for the most part, Houston was the aggressor.
You're down 15 in the first half of a playoff game. It takes everything you have to get back into it. Kept our home court advantage and have the opportunity to take advantage of Game 2, but learn the lessons that we did.
Well, Steph Curry may have been the star on the court, but it was his daughter Riley who stole the show at her very first post-game press conference.
We're both supposed to,
That's too loud, Daddy.
I know. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Be quiet.
He plays well, and obviously he did that for his.
So from Dell to Steph and now to Riley, it looks like this next little Curry is ready for the big stage, and she is a doll. From Oakland, I'm Lewis Johnson.
Time for Hennessy, never stop, never settle. Steph Curry in his last 3 games, making it look Steffortless.
That interview wasn't Steffortless
And
with
very
his daughter.
efficient.
It's 54% from deep. And we saw it again last night. We've seen it plenty of times this year. Here's a 49-33 Houston lead, and then you blink, and it's a 25-6 Golden State run. They can do that to you so quickly, and you don't even recollect having a 16-point lead over that team.
Yeah, I like the fact that even though they're a young team, they never panic. I'm big on looking in people's eyes, looking on people's faces. Sometimes in game situation, you can tell when the person's going to give up. But even down 16 points, these guys never panic. They just go through what they do. And then, Steph, he's a big shot maker. He had some big shots. The others weren't involved. The crowd got involved, and they were able to win that game. That's why I like Golden State.
And I will say this about Golden State. Their bench is terrific. Obviously their starters are fine. But when they come in with Iguodala, he gives them great energy. Then you bring in David Lee. It's
Sean Livingston.
I left him out. Sean Livingston, Barbosa. When to be honest with you, I think their bench offense is now the starters are better shooters, but as far as pace of game, when they come in with that second unit, they play even faster. Now they're not as good as shooters. That's the point I want to make, but they're so deep, man, and they speed the game up.
I would say this. We all agree they're the best small ball team in the NBA.
We saw plenty of that last night.
And so what happens is Dwight Howard not in the lineup. Now the Houston has to play small ball. Yeah, they played successful without Howard at times, but you're playing against the best team in the league at doing that. The second thing, I don't believe that unless you have Shaquille O'Neal, you can win a championship without making free throws. When you have multiple guys who can't be in the game at the end of the game when it matters, Josh Smith, Dwight Howard, there's about 4 guys on the Rocket you could name that just can't be in the game, and they're key contributors. So, yeah, they took Shaq out for a possession or 2, but you're taking out 3 or 4 guys for bulk minutes because all you have to do when they make a run is start fouling, stop the run, and you can stay in the game. And that's what Golden State did, and they will continue to do. I think it's a too difficult task to win a championship not being able to shoot free throws.
Final score was 110-106, Golden State taking the opener over the Houston Rockets. Meantime, here in Atlanta, Hawks.
Ernie's not too late, too. He's a grandpa now.
Staying up to watch inside. And they're still enthusiastic despite the fact the Cavs took game 1. You're going to hear from Mike Budenholzer when we come back.
Pappy.
Grandpa, Ernie.
Chuck, I think you and I are in complete agreement. Bleacher Report is awesome.
It's the best app I've ever. It's the only app I got, though. They keep me informed on all Auburn sports. You got one app. I do.
And it has uninterrupted with LeBron James and Draymond Green. And who do you want to hear from tonight?
I want to hear LeBron. I want to hear LeBron.
I'm sorry, Kenny. Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. All right, time out. No, that was a great game and all. Yeah, we won. All right. Check my man out. Look at this, man. Look at him. Each year it's gotten better. We got in together, rookie year, a little shaky. Second year. We here now. Third year. Look at this man. We ride. No.
Shout out to the watch, though.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about you. FSFL.
Well, it was Festus Ezeli with.
This happened during the break.
Yes.
This is.
It's hard being a sex symbol. It's hard being a sex symbol. They love me.
Was that tears of joy or tears of sadness?
Listen, don't hate me because you ain't me. I'm a sex symbol up here.
I just saw a lot of people.
That's all right.
You know what she did? When she got back out here, she's like, got him.
It's all right.
She wasn't crying.
I'm going to make you cry too, Chuck.
Ernie, do we have anything important to talk about?
We want to hear from some more guys in terms of game one.
Don't worry about it.
I believe.
Everybody's trying to get on stage now.
No, we want to talk about you, Grandpa.
Hey, Jeremy.
You got some slippers?
Do we want to hear from, Coach Bud?
Okay. I'd like to hear.
Thank you.
Any particular information about DeMarre at this point?
At this point, I think the doctors are saying it's a knee sprain. He'll have an MRI tomorrow, and we'll know more tomorrow.
How tough will it be to replace him offensively as well as defensively?
Yeah, DeMarre's a complete player. He has a big impact on both ends of the court. So, it's other people will have opportunities to make defensive plays, to make offensive plays, and that'll be a great opportunity and a great challenge.
They take you out of what you guys wanted to do offensively, or did you guys not do what you needed to do offensively?
I thought in the first half we did a great job of attacking the basket, and I thought our offense looked really great. They were staying home with a lot of people, and Jeff and Dennis had some lanes to get in there, and I thought they did that. But in the third quarter, we got in one of those funks again, and JR got hot, and they went on a little run. And, we can't let that happen.
Not a good time, Chuckster, to get in a funk when you're in the Eastern Conference Finals and you're down 1-0 now. What do you do? If you're Mike Budenholzer, what are you doing before game two?
Well, the number one, you got to figure out what's going to happen with DeMarre Carroll. But then, obviously, you got to figure out who's going to start in his place. Because not only has he been playing great offensively, you got to put somebody in there who can physically handle LeBron. I mean, so...
And it points out even more.
Excuse me? That person doesn't exist.
But it points out even more the loss of Thabo Cephalosha before the playoffs started, too, as a wing defender.
Yeah, a wing defender, but Cephalosha is a solid player, a good player, but he was not going to score. They missed this Carroll kid on both ends of the floor, and he was leading them tonight when he got hurt. So
not tonight. He led them.
The entire playoff.
Series.
Yeah. So this really hurts him offensively and defensively, and you can't put a little guy on LeBron, and you can't put a big guy on him. So it's going to be
nothing left.
Ernie,
a medium guy.
Chuck, Kenny, Ernie, I have a question for the panel. Can you let LeBron get his and shut the others down and win a few games?
No,
or possibly win the series?
I would do it the opposite. I would do it the opposite. I know LeBron could beat you. I've seen him get 30 points in 30 straight points in an Eastern Conference final game against the Detroit Pistons. I've seen him score on many occasions for the Miami Heat. I have not seen J.R. Smith play like that for 4 games in an NBA Conference final. I have not seen Dellavedova shoot the basketball the way he did to get to this series on a consistent basis. I will make those guys. No, I will make those guys beat me. And if they do, I will shake their hand. But if LeBron James get 40, he will beat you.
Well, see, and I disagree with you on that one.
You got to let him play one-on-one?
I'm going to let him play one-on-one.
Yes, I will too.
I'm going to because JR's if you start doubling LeBron and rotating he makes Dellavedova, because forget on the case of his name. He kind of plays just like Kyle Korver. He really doesn't get his own shot. JR can get his own shot, but I would try to stop those other guys and let LeBron get his numbers. Because 30 or 40 points ain't gonna win an NBA game.
Meantime, a short time ago on the subject of defending LeBron James, here's the Hawks' Kent Bazemore.
Difficult is the challenge of whether it's a switch on LeBron or you take him the whole time if he's in attack mode like he looked like he was in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I love it. You know, I love a challenge, and you know, I'm gonna fight him as hard as I can. And you know, he's, like I say, he's a very special player. But you know, I have a lot of belief in myself, a lot of self-confidence. You know, they brought me here to do one thing, and that's defend. And you know, that's my role.
And the guy in the background, Ernie, Mike Scott, the forgotten man who played well for them in previous season and even at points this season. You know, athletic, shoots the basketball. You know, in the background, maybe he's the guy who comes to the foreground. Well, and I think that he has a different size that Bazemore or Carroll doesn't have, and a different type of style of play. I think he's a guy who can help.
No, like I know you say you want LeBron to keep people involved, but LeBron is a special type player. There's only a handful of players that's going to get their numbers no matter what. You could double, triple. LeBron's still going to get above 25, but if you let him get his 25, 31 tonight, JR 28, there definitely ought to be. So I'm going to go with Chuck and let him get 40, 50 and say, okay, get 40 and 50 4 straight games and beat us.
Do you think that JR's 28 had anything to do with LeBron on a lot of them?
I think, remember, if you go back and look at that game, Ernie said earlier, it was a tie game. LeBron was on the bench. When JR went crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He went crazy. So my point being.
That to me, when JR went crazy in that stretch when it was a tie game, that's when the game switched.
LeBron, by the way, 31 on this night. They've played 11 playoff games. The Cavs are 9-2. And LeBron has had at least 30 5 times. And this young lady had her night, possibly her year.
She said,
made.
I didn't ask for a kiss. What are you doing? I didn't ask for a kiss.
Stop it.
I often leave the set in tears as well.
Sex symbol, my bad.
I didn't ask for a kiss.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for game-changing traction inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. We welcome you back as we wrap things up here on Inside, presented by Kia. They're making all the fans go away.
That's time. That's time.
It's time for
EJ's Needles. Sponsored
presented
by
no one.
Oh, come on, Ernie. In Atlanta.
Unsullied
when you
by
have a
sponsorship. Unsullied
daughter
by sponsorship.
You need a sponsorship. You got a granddaughter.
Yeah, you can't just go your whole life not getting sponsors, Grandpa.
Every now and then we have one, like NBA.
Why don't you try to get like Geritol?
It's not my job to go.
Why don't you get like
That's our sales department.
Tessa, you're a grandpa now. Why don't you get like Geritol or prunes or something to sponsor you?
I'm working on Depends.
something that's in your
California prunes.
Anyway, we got to send some folks fishing.
Yes, we do.
It's been a while since we've been together. Let's send the Memphis Grizzlies fishing.
Oh, man. My boy, Elliot Perry. I love you, EP.
Perry, wow.
That's my guy, Elliot Perry.
We talk about Elvis,
Got a little Elvis and a little Alan Jackson.
You better ease up on the EP. That's my
Justin
guy.
Look at Elvis. Man, that fish is really big, Tiny.
Yes, it is.
And
suit and tie. Give me some of that suit and tie.
the expected
Who's that with the cowboy hat, Ernie?
Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson.
Yes.
Justin Timberlake put a concert on that boat.
Only know one country song.
One
You got to know
when to hold 'em. I knew you was
Kenny
going to do
Rogers.
that.
Chicago Bulls going fishing.
Y'all threw Tom Thibodeau over the boat.
Not yet. He's not off the boat yet.
Well, listen, I don't like that situation. They mistreating Coach Tibbs. Tibbs, you're doing a hell of a job.
He got about $10 million left. I don't know how they're going to keep him in that water.
If they fire Tibbs, they have a job by the end of this week.
We got Jeremy Piven back there with the Hug It Out shirt.
Oh, man, we've got the new entourage.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Gold.
I don't see Jeremy at. Where is he? Okay.
And what's that? The comedian name? Craig?
Oh, the Wizards.
Oh, you got Clinton on there?
Oh, we had the Clinton.
Yeah, Craig Robinson. He's a funny dude, man.
Look at the far left. The far left.
That's the only time
Scooter.
That's the only time he ever gonna be skinny.
One of our executives with a proud catch over there. And Let's see.
Kenny, I didn't know you went
Everybody
fishing.
else you see.
Oh, all the time, man.
Hillary.
I got a big fishing trip with my pops this week.
And the LA Clippers.
Nicole, yeah.
Sean Penn. Spicoli.
Oh, man.
Spicoli's in the back.
Baptized at Ridgemont High might be one of the top 20 movies
Yes,
of
it
all
is.
time.
You know, and you know
Who's
who
that
else
on
is
the
in
right
there?
in the yellow?
Hey, that's Dr. Heimlich.
Dr. Heimlich. Oh, my God.
Hey, go Tay
Anthony
Diggs.
Anderson.
Tay
Okay.
Diggs on one of our TNT shows, Murder in the First.
Okay.
And who's that in the bikini with the knife?
That's one of the girls, Ursula
Andrews,
Andress.
Dr. Heimlich's friend.
No, that's a girl.
got it.
That's a James Bond girl, isn't it?
And a special fishing to David Letterman. Last show.
It's last show tonight.
Why Paul George is on there, I'm not sure.
He likes to fish.
Indiana.
Indiana,
Crazy.
I got it.
Hey, David,
Dummy.
No, but I'm saying Indiana already went fishing.
I was blessed. I was
good
blessed
point,
to
good
do
point.
David Letterman's show, man. What a wonderful career.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Was
career.
it 33 years or so of late night for David
Yeah, that's
Letterman?
I don't know the
That's
exact
awesome.
number. Somebody said it was 6,000 shows. But David, job well done.
Obviously.
Ernie, can I give a
Yes,
shout
Dave.
out?
You may.
My boy, the Tampa Bay Lightning, 6-5 in overtime. Thank you for not keeping me up like you did last night with the Black House, Patrick Kane. But great win.
Shout out to the Johnson
Yeah,
family.
shout out
Oh,
to
my
Maggie
God.
Johnson and
Grandpa
Dustin
Ernie.
Pruitt. Yeah, and Katie Ann Pruitt. That's
So what
awesome.
you want to be called?
No, it's Poppy.
Poppy. Okay.
Poppy is my.
I love it when they call you Big Poppy.
They called my dad Poppy. The grandkids did, and so they passed that on to me, and I proudly accept that. And I cannot wait to go up there and see the girl tomorrow.
Shaq, how's it going?
Northeast Georgia Medical Center. Shout out. Thanks a lot for taking care of my daughter.
I love it when you call me Big Pop.
Ernie Johnson, Grandpa. We're going to call him Poppy.
We're going to see you guys on Friday for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Thanks for being here tonight for the opener, won by the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road in Atlanta.
Great job, guys.